My Hyperlite Mid 1 has been through storms before, even snow, but nothing prepared me for the conditions in the Sierra Nevada, which left my tent zipper completely jammed. Let me explain. When I was driving to McGee Creek, I knew it was going to be a windy weekend, but the dust clouds caught me off guard. They really shouldn't have. It had been a long time since the last rain, but there I was, hiking into 25-mile-per-hour wind toward my camp. This should have been a clue, but at the time, I didn't think much of it. I set up my tent on a dry, dusty spot that was reasonably even, making sure my guylines were secure. The wind became a constant companion on this trip. Day and night. It never stopped. With it came sand, blowing into every corner of my tent and covering every single piece of gear I brought. The second night, the zipper stopped working while I was inside the tent. I had noticed earlier that it was getting harder to move up and down. Fine sand had coated the zipper, preventing it from sliding smoothly. Even the mesh door zipper started giving me trouble. From that moment on, getting in and out of the tent became infinitely more complicated. I tried rinsing it with water. There was no hope. The zipper was jammed beyond repair, at least here on camp. So I had to continue entering and exiting the tent through a half-open door. Packing up camp also became way more complicated. Normally, you take for granted the ease of rolling back your tent door and packing your sleeping bag and pad inside. Now I couldn't do that, and I was suddenly very aware of all the dust everywhere. Thankfully, I found a flat rock to help pack things up. Back home, the excessive cleaning began, and I immediately contacted Hyperlite Mountain Gear's customer service for advice. Max became my main contact, and he responded quickly to all my emails. Together, we started troubleshooting the zippers after some careful cleaning. I'm starting with the inner one first to see how this goes. I have it partially closed from when I packed up the tent, but I didn't close it all the way because the zipper was so hard to move that I was afraid that one more try and it will probably break. And so I'm going to attempt to vacuum this closed part first and then very carefully the open part and see how the zipper moves afterwards. This actually worked pretty well, better than I thought. So let's see what the zipper does now. It was going really hard before, and now let's see. That's much better. Yeah, that works exactly like it should now. That makes me so happy. Now the real test is going to be the outer zipper. The one that's really problematic. Let's see. So this is the part that doesn't work anymore down here. It has this gap. It no longer closes properly, and I don't even want to pull or push it anymore because I don't want to make it even worse. But I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to vacuum on both sides the entire zipper and see if it already improves a little bit. Okay. That worked okay. I sucked in the fabric a couple of times, but this stuff is so super durable that maybe I shouldn't worry about it too much. So, but I highly doubt that this is going to work any better. No, because the zipper is just so, yep, see how it's just not going anywhere. So, let's see, this one here, this one always worked, thankfully. And that's the only reason why I was able to get out of the tent, because it started jamming when I was already in the tent and I was trying to close the tent up completely, and then the problem started happening. So let's see. That seems to be okay. But this spot here is always the spot where it doesn't continue, right here. I'm so afraid to break it further. So I'm going to go to the next step that they suggested, to squeeze this little part just a little bit so the teeth fit together again. The goal is to make this part here just a little bit tighter so the teeth fit together again. Right now it might be just a little bit too far apart so the teeth don't come together as a whole anymore. And if I squeeze it just a little bit, maybe it'll work again. So I'm gonna very gently squeeze on both sides of that zipper. Let's see. It's right here. This little bump here. It's almost as if that zipper is not quite right anymore. Let's see. Here's the bump, and it doesn't go over it. I'm trying to push that bump in a little bit to kind of realign everything, but it just got so messed up because I was partially working so hard to open and close these zippers on my trip. But it's not like I could have left the tent open. It was so windy and so dusty and cold. Obviously, I'm expecting the zippers to kind of handle situations like that, but it really didn't. It's fine in the rain and in the wind without sand, and even in the snow. But the sand part just messed it up. Yeah. Here's that little bumpy part from the other side. It's a little bit better to see on this side here, where it's just not quite right. Like the entire zipper looks really good up until this point here, where it's just not connected properly. Nothing goes past that part there. I think it's on to the next part, to reach out to Hyperlite again and see what else we can do, or if they can replace the zipper perhaps. Well, my friends, I heard back from Hyperlite Mountain Gear yesterday, and they said the only thing I can do now is to send it in for repairs. They sent me a form to fill out with their address and instructions for the tent. And I couldn't believe my eyes when I saw the address on there, because it's a place that my husband and I will visit next week actually. So I'm gonna get the tent ready today. I'm going to get the guy lines off of it and clean it really thoroughly, all the grass and the dust and dirt from my last trip. And then I'll pack it up and bring it to their office myself. And I wish I could give you a tour of the office. They did invite me to look around and check out their place, but only if I don't film over there, which is really sad. But you never know, maybe in the future I'll get to visit again and maybe I can show you some of that stuff. But perhaps I'll tell you a little bit about it afterwards. But for now, let's just get that tent ready here, get it all packed up. And next week I'll be on my way to the Hyperlite office personally, which I'm really excited about. I attached these guidelines so well, and now I have to take them off because I don't want them to be in the way. And I don't know if they can repair it or not, or if they would replace something. I am not sure, but I definitely want to keep my super amazing guidelines because they work out so extremely well on my last trip when it was so windy. And so just have to get all those knots undone and save the whole thing somewhere safe so I don't lose it. Here, it's really easy. I just take off this thing and then later when I have my tent back, I just attach it again. Everything else stays the same. This whole thing I don't have to touch. It's all ready to go for next time. So I just have a bucket here with clear water, with just lukewarm water and a Swedish cloth to wipe the surface a little bit, and a trash can in case I find any grass or other things that don't really go in the water. I'm just gonna wipe everything off a little bit and then turn the tent inside out and clean the inside of the tent floor, and then we should be good, I think. We'll see how this goes. I've never really cleaned a tent this way before, but should be okay. Look at that. Yep, pretty dirty. Was definitely worth it. I guess that's it for now. I have everything as clean as possible, and now I just wait a little bit until everything is dry inside and out, and then I'll roll it up just like I do at camp, print out my form, and that's it. I promise I will put the grass away before my husband gets home. I don't want it to mingle amongst his Lego. There you go. Ready to be taken over to Maine to get repaired. And so our beautiful trip to Maine began with a quick visit to Hyperlite Mountain Gear in Biddeford. The tour was incredible. I wish I could have filmed it for you. The repair station, the warehouse, the innovation space, even the spot where someone hand-stuffed quilts. Seeing it all gave me a whole new appreciation for the gear. And then the email I've been waiting for finally arrived. It won't be long now until I have my tent back. Well, my friends, I finally have my tent back. I dropped it off about 4 weeks ago and received it late last week. And I was just waiting for an opportunity to film for you guys when I open this box and we look at the tent together, how they fixed the zipper. They did say they were able to fix it, so we'll see how it goes now. It was just so hard to move the last time you saw it, but now hopefully it's good. I feel like I just did this with you guys when I opened up the tent for the first time. No notes or anything. I was hoping they may have put some information in, but no. Let's see. This is the zipper. I'll get my glasses to see if I see any differences. Now you see the stitching there? That's definitely different. That is something they did when they repaired. And we'll see how the zipper works now. Nice. Looks really well. It looks like it's working a little bit harder than it should, but it's just because of the angle, the way I hold it right now. But see how, without a problem, it goes over this little spot there. I'm so happy. Yeah, they did a really good job preparing this. Hyperlite Mountain Gear's customer service has been remarkable throughout this process. Max gave me 2 great tips to prevent zipper problems in the future. First, keep the zippers clean on trips using a brush. This super lightweight bamboo toothbrush will now have a permanent spot in my gear. Second, pay attention to zipper tension. I've been tightening everything well, maybe too well. I often place my chair inside the small vestibule area, which puts extra stress on the already tight zipper. If I keep both these tips in mind on future trips, I shouldn't have zipper issues again. Wind was a huge challenge on this trip, but one thing worked exceptionally well: my guylines. In the next video, I'll show you exactly how I installed them, how well they performed, and the problems I ran into on a previous stormy trip before I upgraded to this set.